welcome. I'm Cynthia Ray, registered dietitian and fitness specialist. I am so excited to share with you all about how to unlock your metabolism after 40 and sharing with you some of my expert secrets for releasing body fat in this amazing masterclass. So today we are going to be diving deep into a topic that's so close to my heart. And Annette can attest to this. She's been in my group for a little while. Unlocking your metabolism after 40 and discovering my expert secrets to losing weight and living out your fabulous life. And I love that word fabulous. It's so colorful. It just says a lot about what we want out of life. So a little bit about me. When I was little, growing up, I was always, as I think about it now, a truth seeker. I always wanted to find out the why behind everything. And my poor parents would say, oh my gosh, when you were little, you'd ask why all the time. And we didn't know how to answer you. So I would ask them, like, why is the sky blue? How do birds fly? Why do leaves turn orange and fall off on the trees in the fall? And why do certain trees not do that? So I was always wanting to know a foundational truth and really the science behind God's creation and how beautifully he painted the sky, how amazingly I have an appreciation for how he created our bodies to be in sync with nature, his love in us and all of his creation, including each and every one of our bodies that he designed with a temperament, with a wiring in it, with a personality that's formed in us, with a purpose that he planned for each of us in our lives. So, and because of his love for us. So I just love diving into that. So for years after my younger years, probably maybe even younger years, elementary age and on, I was living in anxiety and fear. And I just realized just probably 5 years ago, what works for me is to go to prayer, go to God, just rest in his presence and begin to express gratitude and abide in his love. Trusting, that was a big one. Trusting, if you live in fear, trust is a big one. Not trusting is a big one. Trusting that he would fulfill the plans that I have. Like today, before I started, I'm like, oh man, I have all these slides to share and all this tech to do. And I'm like, you know what? It's going to be great. Thank you, God, for going ahead of me. And sometimes I just need to be still. I just need to be still and rest in knowing that he's got me. He's got us. So it's going to make it a lot easier that way. So let's go and take a look at the course objective. The course objective is to show women, 40 plus specifically, how to shed stubborn weight and get lean and fit without sacrificing precious time with your spouse, with your kids, grandkids, having time to travel freely, be confident, feel beautiful and sexy, and have the energy and vitality to show up fully for your family and for whatever God's calling is for you. So that's my main objective with everything that I do for women over 40. Okay, so this training is for you if you want to take charge of your health, you're looking for longevity, you want to reverse the aging process, and you want to regain your vitality that you might have been missing out on for the past 10 to 15, 20 years plus, depending on how old you are. So if you're ready to make change, again, reverse the aging process, regain vitality so you can live your God-ordained, fabulous life that you deserve. So this masterclass is specifically tailored for those who are ready to make transformative change in your life. If you're someone longing to take charge of your health and wellness journey, and if you're someone who's not looking for a quick fix, or a temporary fix with short solutions, with short lasting solutions. So if you're the type of person who really wants to do this for the long haul, this is really designed for you. And if you're sick of, this is the other half of it. If you're sick of feeling trapped by outdated beliefs about aging, that's a huge one. I know we talk about this in our group too. It's for me personally, and I like to encourage women that we don't have to succumb to traditional norms of aging. There's lots of things that happen and we hear a lot of stuff. And I even thought it was funny. When was it last Thursday, we were at my in-laws' house and they had the news on. And I thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. We're just watching the news. But every single commercial, my kids are like, how come there's a medication commercial during every break during the news? Medication or something related to improving your health or just sustaining your health, not necessarily living victoriously, but just kind of going with the flow. Like, oh, I have knee pain, so I need to do such and such thing. Instead of looking above that, there was always temporary fixes for what was happening in the moment. So I've done my research and living it out with my group and just really helping them find ways to live out our best life without having to rely on traditional norms of aging or believe that we are supposed to age in a certain manner. So if you're frustrated with the endless cycle of diets that don't bring sustainable results, that's another one too, because I know it's huge. Being a dietitian, I've worked in this world for about 27 years and I've seen all the things, all the diets, all the fads come and go. I tried them, did them, and they're passing and fading. And even right now with that drug, I'm kind of going on a tangent, but Ozempic, that's another big one that's really hitting the market right now. And one of my close friends, Karen, she's a holistic healthcare practitioner, specializes in gut and hormonal health. And her and one of her girlfriends are trying to put together a program to help women get off of it, because to transition off of it is so hard. The rebound weight gain is pretty significant, and it's hard to get your body and insulin back in sync to its natural levels. So anyway, no quick fixes here. We're in for the long haul. So I'm going to teach you all that as we go. Okay, so if you're ready for a holistic whole person approach to wellness that empowers you to thrive physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, we're going to cover it all here. And this is for you, and you're in the right place. This training is going to be crafted for motivated individuals eager to change and the ones who are seeking a more healthful, fulfilling life after 40. And then let's clarify who might find this training isn't for them. So there's a group of us who this is for, and if it's not for you, I'm going to share this so you can see. So this training might not align with individuals who aren't quite ready to commit to change, or someone who wants a quick fix, does not want to do any work or put effort in. The truth is that what I'm sharing with you today, it is simple. It's really simple. The steps are easy, or they're simple, but it's not always easy. You have to challenge yourself to make change at some level, right? So going back to traditional diets or medications, we were talking about Ozempic earlier, but those types of things are the kinds of things that people will go to who want a fast result, but not have to do any work, right? So with certain medications or other things, you don't have to do anything. You just take it or get the injection, and then, in the long run, it gets you on the other end. So the truth is, honestly, what I'm going to share with you is if it was easy, everyone would do it, right? Because everybody wants to take the easy road. That's just kind of our human nature. If you're closed-minded, this isn't going to work for you. And even if it doesn't resonate with you, or you prefer a rigid one-size-fits-all approach, or you're not open to exploring new perspectives and strategies, that's okay. It's fine. Sometimes we have to learn from that and embrace what I'm going to be sharing today and come in with an open mind. And if you're unwilling to embrace a holistic approach to wellness, meaning your whole person, mind, body, soul, spirit, then you will start to see a transition or transformation in your whole person, not just your body weight. All right, let's go ahead and dive into what you can expect during this class today. So let's talk about some more details. I'll be pouring out as much value as I can, going beyond over theories. I'll share real life experiences and examples of how these methods I'm going to share with you today have been working for so many people and how it could work for you. Also, to ensure that you're going to get the most out of this before I really dive in, I would love for you, if you need to, grab a snack, grab some water, and then also making sure to turn off your phone ringers, just because this time is for you and I want to make the most of our time together and just stay focused. I know there's so many distractions in the world, especially with social media and text and all these things. So I'm going to start out talking about the 3 big mistakes that a lot of times we make and leads to, I guess, not getting any of the results that we're looking for or the health benefits that we're looking for, and then uncovering the why behind each of those. So together we're going to be tackling the 3 big mistakes that might be holding you back from achieving your weight loss desire or just your health desire. I know the front of this is really about over 40 and fat loss and unlocking your metabolism, but that's just one part of this big health onion, wellness onion. There's so many layers, right? And sometimes body fat loss could be the 3rd layer, it could be the 1st layer, it could be the 7th layer, but we're going to be talking about a little bit about all the layers and then how body fat loss and your metabolism can be unlocked in the process. So I'll uncover why you need to get the desired results that you want, and most importantly, provide a step-by-step framework for achieving it without being told to exercise more and eat less. Yuck. Who wants that? If you stay to the end, okay, this is the fun part. So if you decide to stay to the end, if you can, I'm going to be giving away some little prizes and bonuses. So stay to the end and it'll be totally worth it. Whether you're watching the recording or watching me live, let's hang out together and have a little incentive for you all for sticking around. Let me introduce myself properly. I'm going to give you a little bit more detail about me. Okay, so again, my name is Cynthia Ray. I'm a registered dietitian and fitness specialist. I'm also a homeschooling mom of three. My oldest is graduating in college. He's a second year in college at Gonzaga University in Washington State, Spokane, Washington. And like I said, we're down here in Florida right now, but we also live in Idaho for most of the year and just come down here to snowbird. So I'm married to my husband, Corey Ray, for 23 years. We just had our anniversary on the 13th. I am passionate about learning and researching, and I love a good, fun, high intensity, high energy workout. Not all the time, but when I feel good, it's good. I love a tasty cup of coffee. I love coffee and I love tea. I love all things art, history, music, science. That's why I homeschool too, because I love teaching my kids and sharing experiences with them. I love going with my family to museums. We go to the orchestra, all types of live music. But my personal favorite music is jazz. My son actually is a jazz pianist, so I'm blessed by his music. I love jazz and I'm a girl of the 90s. So I love 90s hip hop to work out to. My background is from Costa Rica. My dad's from Costa Rica. My mother's from Nicaragua. So I'm half and half. But my heritage is actually Sicilian Italian. I just learned that over the holidays, which was pretty interesting. I didn't know that. I can speak some Spanish. People always ask me, like, can you speak some Spanish? Survival Spanish, I can. I grew up listening to my parents speaking to me in Spanish, so I understand it fluently. But I always responded to him in English. So that's my style. If somebody speaks to me in Spanish, I'll respond in English. It doesn't always work. So, but as a family, my own family, we love traveling, we love checking new things out, and we call them cultural experiences. And usually, if we go to kind of like a shady restaurant or a weird place, the kids are like, "Oh, mom, that was our cultural experience," or something odd. So we love giving that to our kids. Okay, so professionally, I have a bachelor's degree in nutritional science, a master's degree in public health and health education. I'm also a registered and licensed dietitian and certified with the American College of Sports Medicine as a health and fitness specialist. I was in school for a while, and like I said, I love learning. I probably could be a professor and be completely content to stay in college forever. For the past 25 years, I've been helping women achieve their best health, and women with, from eating disorders, anywhere on that spectrum, from anorexia, bulimia to binge eating and everything else in between, chronic dieting, bulimia, exercise addiction, all those things. I'm recovered myself in my teens and early 20s. I struggled also with anorexia and bulimia, and with the Lord's grace and his love, scooped me out of that and took me out of that lifestyle and allowed me to have this amazing ministry to help other women at different seasons of life to achieve their best self. More recently, I'm 47 now. So when I turned 40, I just, kept doing my workouts, doing my clean eating, doing my mindful and intuitive eating that I was taught in my own recovery, and worked wonderfully. And then right about 44, 45, I looked at in myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. My body's changing, but I'm doing the same stuff, right? I'm eating clean, listening to my body, exercising daily, all the things. And I thought, that's interesting. So I thought, I'm just going to embrace it. It is what it is. This is what happens as I age. But then I realized, you know what? I'm working out hard. I'm eating healthfully for my well-being, and I want to see what my body is capable of. And what do I need to change in my diet and exercise routine as I age that's different from how it was in my 20s and 30s, right? Because I was doing the same thing as I was in my 20s and 30s, but all of a sudden, right, things are different. So I decided to go on a diet, which I've never done before because I'm recovered from eating disorders and an eating disorders recovery coach. So I've been teaching women for a long time how not to diet. And I'm like, I'm just going to try it out. I'm recovered. I'm healthy. I have a good mindset. So I did, and it was rough. I mean, if any of you have been on a diet before, it's rough. I mean, it's, have to restrict calories, you have to count calories, you have to measure, you have to weigh, be really diligent about doing all the things that they tell you to do, just so you don't make any mistakes and you want to get the results that you want. So I did that, and I had horrible headaches. I was hungry all the time. My energy was low, and I was not feeling my best. Although the weight was coming off, but I wasn't feeling my best. I'm like, if I have to live this way forever, I'd rather have a little extra layer of fat on my body than to have to live this way, because I know what it feels like to feel good, right? And to feel well. So then, after all that happened, I just went back to my intuitive and mindful eating. I wrote a book called The 21-Day Sugar Detox, if you're not familiar with it. I wrote and published that last December, a little over a year ago. And when I published it, we had our first round of members go through. Everybody was feeling really great. And they're like, okay, what's next? I'm like, I don't have another book I can write right now. So I ended up creating a course that I have now. It's called The Ageless Body Blueprint: How to Be Fit, Fabulous, and Fierce Over 40. So I did research and started implementing this new lifestyle myself, and then started inviting women to be a part of my test group. And it was amazing. We're now going to be starting up our third round of the group February 5th. And the group and course is all about the things I'm going to share with you today. And then I'll share with you more about it later if you want to know more. But anyway, so that's where I'm at. So I'm doing this course now. I'm sharing my book still, and then hopefully going to create this course into a book this year. We'll see what God has for me. So let's go ahead and go back to my slide. All right. So let's talk about the three major mistakes and misconceptions. So that the reality is that science has changed a lot very recently, like within the last 5 years, as far as weight loss science. So when I was in college, I was taught, and I've been teaching in my private practice for years, up until last couple of years, about weight loss is about calorie restriction, right? So eat less, exercise more to have a calorie deficit, right? That's kind of the science behind the calculation behind weight loss, right? But more recently, scientists are discovering that calorie restriction isn't actually, it does work temporarily, but it's not actually how our bodies lose body fat. It's actually our hormonal imbalance. So hormonal imbalance, not necessarily sex hormones like estrogen and progesterone, but it's more about digestive hormones. So about insulin and about your liver health. So I'm going to dive into that today. So I'm saying this in advance so that you have an open mind and can really understand what's going on. That's why I wanted to do this masterclass too, is to share the latest in research. Okay, so we're going to talk about 3 big mistakes that are preventing you from achieving your optimal self, why you're not getting the fat release that you want, and the anti-aging effects that come along with it, and then what you should be doing instead. And I'm going to give you my step-by-step framework on how to reverse the process without giving up your favorite meals, without giving up coffee dates with the ones you love, because I know that those meals and times together or celebrations or holidays are so important for our well-being because they bond us with other people. They give us memories with our family. Laughing and having coffee with a friend is probably one of the best medicines. Just bonding is so important. So I never want anybody to ever feel like they can't have those opportunities because it's such a part of our well-being and longevity. So making sure to do that. Okay, so we're going to dive a little bit deeper and to eliminate 3 common mistakes that hold you back. The truth is, if you've done these things before, it's okay. It's not your fault. This is kind of what science has been sharing with us, but there's some new things out there I want to share with you. A lot of times the things that we have done before for weight loss has ended us up in a weight loss or body fat loss plateau, and then confused even about why I'm doing all the things I was doing before to lose weight and it's not working anymore. And then being confused by the changes our bodies make as they age. But I'm going to show you how that's going to work over 40. So let's acknowledge the big challenge in our industry. Like I said before, everyone wants instant results, but would rather not have to do the work, and they'd rather be comfortable. That's our human nature, right? For survival. The challenge is it's affecting our results. But today I'm going to share with you how to overcome it. The overarching challenge in our industry is that it does not address the whole person, right? When we talk about dieting, it's just about calories in, calories out, or diet programs. They rarely talk about the whole person. They focus on numbers and weight and measurements and forget that we're human and that God created us with emotions, intellect, and with feelings. So it's important that we know that we have a soul and a spirit and a will and God's guidance for us. They are the interesting thing I was learning, kind of going back a little bit about soul and spirit, is that our soul is kind of like what manages our emotions and feelings. Like if we went with our emotions and feelings for everything, like, oh, it feels good or it looks good, it's not going to lead us right in the right path all the time, right? But if we go with more of like what our spirit is saying, which is truth, sometimes it's hard to discern it, then you're going to get the outcomes that you want. So it's always important, if you're a believer, to listen to and stay in tune with the Holy Spirit's promptings, being in step and asking for discernment in all areas. You can sometimes get just like a gut feeling about something, a word from the Lord that impacts your heart and something that feels right. And so just know that when you are feeling in fear and when you're feeling at peace, those are totally different things. So if you're doing something that's causing you to feel in fear, it might not be the right thing. Not always, but sometimes you want to check it. If you're doing something and it's resulting in peace, then it's usually the right thing. That's a very general statement, but I just kind of want to throw it out there because we're going to talk about that a little bit more later. All right, so let's talk about these common mistakes. Okay, number 1, ignoring the power of the mind. If you feel like you want to take a screenshot of any of this, if you can, go ahead. So number one, ignoring the power of the mind. And then number two is doing the same thing and expecting a different result, right? That's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, and expecting a different result. And then number three is neglecting the impact of consistency. So number one, we're going to talk about the three mistakes. The first one is ignoring the power of the mind and our thoughts, focusing on weight and the number and ignoring the rest of your wellness needs. So many of you might find it challenging to get to the root of what's actually happening, right? Happening in your mind, in your body, and your behaviors that keep you stuck. And it's a common oversight that could be affecting your progress. So many times, like I said, programs don't address this, but working in the eating disorders world and the behavior world and the addictive world, I see it. And just with women who struggle with sugar issues or carbohydrate, it's not really an addiction, but they call it an addiction, that has to be addressed, right? Because it's not about the food, it's about the feelings. Okay, our culture is so focused on numbers and logic as a way to lose body fat. Sometimes letting that go and living your life as your best life is critical. You know what to do, but don't want to do it because the food at hand, whatever's in front of you, looks so good, even though you're not supposed to eat it, that you go for it anyway. So making decisions moment by moment, meal by meal, are going to be so important in this process. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay, the other thing too is that many of us are never really taught how to handle deprivation, that I can't have something, especially with food. Usually we are given food as a comfort when we are having a hard time with certain emotions or things that are happening in our life, but rarely are we having food taken away from us to cope, right? It's usually the other way around. So a lot of us are never taught how to handle deprivation or to even know how to handle the emotions that come in life without using food, or never taught how to handle emotions. For example, there's three key brain chemicals. There's dopamine, there's oxytocin, and serotonin, right? So those three hormones are affected by food, mostly affected by food. Having carbohydrate-laden meals really calm us down. They give us that feeling of comfy, cozy oxytocin. So they can be used as a drug, and they do work temporarily if you're feeling uncomfortable, you need more comforting. So just kind of keep that in mind, and I'll dive into that a little bit more too. Okay, so if you remain stuck and can never fully grow and mature into the person God has created you to be, if you're not looking at the whole person. The more you push, the more pushback you'll get. Like the more push meaning like the more you restrict, the harder you try, the more pushback you'll get. And when you're focused on the numbers and the results, and we end up neglecting the whole person, we get more stress, we get more anxiety, and as a result, keep ourselves stuck in self-sabotage and down talking ourselves. Like a lot of times I remember in recovery, we would say, you didn't fail the diet failed you. So meaning like whatever you were doing wasn't working because it wasn't what you were ready to handle yet, right? So if there's deprivation involved, but you're never taught how to handle deprivation, it would be almost impossible to sustain it. Maybe sometimes even our expectations are unrealistic and higher than attainable for that time in your life. And what's really important is to know what's really going on if there's an emotional food connection going on. And what I sometimes think too is like, if we're trying so hard and striving so hard for certain people to lose weight and to push, like, what's this heavy load that you're pushing? Why is it so important? And a lot of times we have to learn how to do something different in order to achieve something different. So here's what happens when you stop making this common mistake. Let's say you now open your mind and are ready to give up the previous beliefs holding you back. Now you're prepared and open-minded to learn something new. You will know it is correct because a feeling of peace will overcome you. The fruit of the Spirit is peace and rest. Perfect love casts out all fear. So following this guidance, you'll be able to implement it with trust and ease and want to, because the guidance is peaceful and logical. You can take your focus off the food and weight that has been there for 98% of the day and move into rest and truth. Besides, it's the truth that sets you free. So a lot of times I had clients in the past that I would ask them, what percentage of the day are you thinking about food? And many times they would say, oh, probably like 100%. I was like, okay, really 100%? They're like, well, maybe 98%. I'm like, okay. So when you're focused on weight loss and food so much, you can't really have time for the rest of your life because there's so much stress being put on yourself. All right, so let's take a look at one of the ladies in my course who had some great results from everything that we're doing together. So our first friend is Cheryl. She's not with us today, but I do have a little quote from her. So Cheryl had been living a diet lifestyle and working in the diet industry for years. She made lifelong attempts to lose weight and get rid of sugar. She came to me seeking help with her diet and nutrition and desiring weight loss. And for some reason, she knew, and it's so funny, we talk about this all the time, that I was the person that she needed to help her next. She joined my sugar detox group, test group. So after she did the sugar detox with me, then she joined the Ageless Body Blueprint course, and it put her on a new path to weight loss and longevity. And she hasn't looked back since. And she shared with me too that she felt a renewed sense of peace, a sense of freedom, and not anchored by thoughts of food and weight. So she could go and live out her best life. So this quote I have for you is actually a text I received from her as we were going through the course together, the Ageless Body Blueprint course together. And she was sharing with me that she was so excited to see that as of this morning, that particular day, my blood sugar levels dropped from 122 to 115, and I'm down 9 pounds. That literally, I remember this, it was in 2 weeks of our sugar detox group. I was like, wait a second, this is pretty amazing. So this is my test group. So, and it was pretty cool to see this happening in my test group. She said that she needed to keep her sugars low because her dad died from diabetes, and a close friend of hers died in her mid 40s due to complications from diabetes. So I just want to share this example with you because it's really how getting out of the diet mentality and mindset can really keep you from being stuck in all these things. All right, so mistake number 2. Here we go, mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is doing the same thing and expecting a different result, right? Insanity. Overlooking the importance of thinking differently, outside of the box, remaining as scientists to out of the box, listening to what scientists are saying and discovering when God reveals something new or overlooked to scientists that we're finding out now, right? So let's address the second stumbling block, staying single-minded. Are you guilty of neglecting this crucial aspect? You are here and may not be to find out why you are stuck, right? So it could be maybe, are you staying single-minded? Our bodies are really wired for survival and will adapt to what you bring it. So if you put a little bit of, we call hormetic stress, like gentle stress that's going to build you up, put a little hormetic stress to it to make a positive change, and it allows you to build up your body and not break it down with the other stress, which is distress. So there's distress, which will break your body down. And then there's eustress or hormetic stress, which will actually help your body to grow and strengthen and build up. You might be doing the same thing and expecting different results because maybe there has been a shift in weight loss science, like I said earlier, and a deeper understanding beyond what we thought 10 to 15 years ago. Back then, we thought eggs, butter, and meat are bad for your cholesterol, but now we know they're not necessarily. That elevated cholesterol isn't a diet issue per se, it's actually a liver health issue. Right? So your liver is responsible for metabolizing fats, whether it's body fat or dietary fat. Your liver's responsible for that. So if it's full of toxins or full of stored carbohydrates, it's going to be impossible or very difficult for you to lose body fat. We also thought that weight loss was all about calories, but we know now that's a hormonal issue, not an energy issue. To get a different result, you need to do things differently. Look at what you eat, not how many calories you eat. And then just knowing that restricting calories does decrease weight. I know that. I experienced it myself. I've seen it with clients, but every single time I've done with clients, they always hit a plateau. So then we have to start scrambling and have to figure out a new way, a new method for them. And it was so hard, it's so stressful on me because I really wanted to get them the result. But all I knew, this is 5 years ago, is all I knew. Okay, well, if we bring calories down more, metabolism will slow down, and then your body will start adapting to a lower calorie amount. And it was just really complicated. So restricting calories does decrease weight, but it also causes your metabolism to drop, making it harder and harder to lose weight despite eating less and less. So as the less you eat, your body's super adaptive and it's wired for survival. The less you eat, the slower your body's metabolism will go. So that way it can survive on what it has and do its best to thrive with whatever you're giving it. And if you continue doing this, Doing it the old way leads to not making progress. Maybe you get so frustrated, you just want to throw in the towel, staying stuck, or maybe even gaining weight. Sometimes people will reduce calories and their body gets stressed out. So we actually end up releasing more cortisol and it leads to more weight gain and fat deposition. So it can be super frustrating. And if you continue doing this, you'll just end up living in frustration, feeling like you just can't do it, and always looking for the next best thing rather than sticking to one thing long enough, right? So I know how chronic dieters live, right? I've treated them, I've been one, where we're always looking for the next best thing, or we're doing something and all of a sudden our girlfriend's like, oh, try this thing, or you see her one time after you haven't seen her for a while and she's lost a bunch of weight and you're like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? So then you jump in on what she's doing, and we never give our body an opportunity to really do the thing that we're doing. So it's really easy to get sidetracked, but it's important to stick with what you're doing. If you know it's truly not working for you, like I finished out my diet that I was doing, and I finished it because I wanted to see what my body would do. And I realized it just wasn't working for me because it just wasn't feeling right anymore. Okay, so let me share with you another testimonial of my friend Kim. This isn't actually her face. This is actually just a little picture I had on my computer because she wanted to stay a little bit more anonymous, which is fine. So she did learn that she did like fasting. By fasting and lowering her blood sugar consumption, she lost 8 pounds. And she hasn't, at this point, she didn't progress too much with her fasting. She was maybe doing about 16-hour fasts. She had done so many different things. She was so done with it. She said, I don't want to talk about eating or losing weight or anything. I'd rather be poked in the eye and do math, which for her is saying something. And she was telling me she's just so burnt out on diets. And so I knew that this was something for her because it was something that wasn't diety, but just learning how to live out this lifestyle. But as she started doing that course together, she found out that she was beginning to gain peace around her relationship with food and finally understanding what her body needed. So she felt like I was able to, in our course, able to simplify the process for her. So she wasn't feeling as stressed out and was more open to doing new things like fasting and lowering her sugar consumption, which was really exciting. So I like how she said it, to poke my eye out or do math. I kind of feel the same way about math sometimes too. And then also another testimonial from Tracy. So Tracy was in my test group. So she said that she lost 24.6 pounds since January. So this is last year. When I started the 21-day sugar detox, I hit a minor plateau. And with Cynthia's suggestion, I finally broke through with a moderate 1 pound loss per week, or this week. And actually, she kept losing after that. I've been consistently getting in my workouts, which is also helping. I feel better too. Okay, so let's talk about what we should be doing. So we're talking about one, not to do the 3 things that can keep you held back. All right, so step 1. So there is a method to the Ageless Body Blueprint, and not just that, but how I work with clients, even individually. So I'm also open for individual consults, one-on-one consults as well. The cool thing is that there's a few steps that you can take in order to, live out the life you want, to live out the fabulous life that you deserve, and getting to learn how to actually unlock your metabolism, returning it back to how you were when you were in your 20s and 30s, which is really exciting. So I'm going to introduce to you basically the outline of my Ageless Body Blueprint system, how we do this. There's 5 steps to it to get your total body wellness results without counting calories, doing long workouts or missing out on vacation and date night eating, which is so fun. I just had my anniversary recently and we had a great time. I didn't have to worry about it. All right. So we have number 1. So the first thing you need to do is you need to detoxify your liver. So this is something that I recently discovered, probably about the end of summer, early fall, the importance of detoxifying your liver. So it needs to be clean and ready to metabolize fats. Our bodies use fats from our bodies, the body fat we have, or from our diets. You got to know, it's interesting, that our body doesn't distinguish between body fat and dietary fat for energy use, for fuel, right? So if your liver isn't clear, it's going to block you from metabolizing fat, whether it's from your diet or from your body. And it's going to block you from producing these lovely things called ketones that bathe your brain in this amazing byproduct of fat metabolism. And it really helps to reverse the aging of your brain and gives you tons of brain clarity. It's amazing. And then this is how fats are broken down. There's so many health benefits. It also helps to decrease the inflammation in your body as well. So if you have any inflammation, joint pain, disease conditions, diabetes, elevated blood pressure, those are actually inflammation as well. It'll help to break down inflammation. So most people don't clear their liver because they just don't know that they're supposed to. So that's why I want to share this with you today. So in our program, we do a liver detox first, and I have a 7-day meal plan that goes with it. So it's really easy to follow, has recipes, grocery list, everything you need to do a liver detox. There's also another way that you can detoxify your liver, which is using castor oil packs. If you're familiar with that or not, castor oil packs is basically castor oil in a glass jar that you can put on a piece of a wool cloth, put it on your body against your skin, usually over your liver, leave it on there for an hour, 3 times a day, and it'll start to detoxify your liver as well to get it ready to do its thing. A lot of times women, they try to lose weight and they're doing all the things, even all the things I'm sharing, and nothing budges. It's because their liver is clogged with either stored carbohydrates from over the years or with excess toxins that it just can't do its thing. Even hormonal imbalances come into play too if your liver is not clear. Hormonal meaning estrogen and progesterone imbalances happen if your liver is not clear. Those metabolize in your liver as well. So you can use that meal plan before diving in or do the castor oil packs. I like the dietary method better because it cleans you kind of more from the inside out, as well as affects your digestive health too. So it's nice to have those extra veggies. It's basically a plant-based diet that incorporates lots of cruciferous vegetables to help to detoxify your liver. So like I said before, elevated cholesterol is not a dietary issue. It's actually a liver health issue. So if your liver is clogged, you're going to also have elevated cholesterol levels. But once you clear it up and start eating clean and healthy, your body can metabolize fats with no problem. Also, your gallbladder is within your liver as well, and your gallbladder has enzymes in it to metabolize fats. So it's your whole liver is really responsible for that particular issue or area. So one of our members, Diane, she was so cool. So last week, every week we have a group meeting, and she was telling me last week in our group that she's like, it's interesting. She's been seeing changes in her weight gradually, but the one thing that she did notice at her doctor the other day was that her cholesterol went down, and she wasn't trying to do it. So this is one of those things those cases of unpeeling the onion, the wellness onion. So you can be doing all the things with, like I'm going to share with you about your nutrition and your fitness and your timing of your food, and not necessarily looking for something, but you're finding other things are happening. Maybe your cholesterol is getting lowered. Maybe your joint pain is going away. Maybe your vision is getting better. Maybe your bloating is going down. Maybe your gut health is so you can eat foods that you don't have to worry about it anymore. Your gut health is better. You're more regular. Like I said, brain clarity, all these things are happening. And body fat loss is one layer. So for her, she did the liver detox back in October. And she would say that her cholesterol levels dropped about 50 points since then. So she does believe that fasting and eating, clean eating, makes a huge difference. Okay, so the second thing that we do, so first thing is your liver detox. Second thing is check your mindset and beliefs and how you manage stress. So remaining closed-minded, you don't believe that you can achieve something, that you might say you're too old, and then engage in negative self-talk that keeps you stuck, right? A lot of times I hear women, oh, I'm too old, or because I'm older, I'm gaining weight, my joints hurt, my muscles are weak. Not necessarily. Maybe it's just you don't know these things I'm going to share with you. Okay, why it's so important. So it's so important to keep open-minded because this is the foundation of it all. If your mindset is for you, ready to do the work, open and available to make change and adjustments and being flexible and being focused, you're going to be coming at wellness with self-care and love instead of fear and anger. Weight and health will move with love and peace, but will stay put with anger, pressure, frustration, and overwhelm. When your liver is busy metabolizing cortisol, the stress hormone, it can't metabolize progesterone. So progesterone is going to be circulating, and you're going to end up with elevated estrogen levels, which causes stress and anxiety and worry, even with the most minor thing. So going back to liver detox, important to detox your liver. It's also important to have a good mindset, to come at it with love and peace, than pressuring yourself to get something done. Your body really listens to what you're saying, even what you're thinking. So it's really important to treat it well. The thing is with progesterone, that's circulating and never gets metabolized because that stress hormone cortisol, it's taking priority. When you have that stress hormone coming up and progesterone is down, you're going to be more stressed because progesterone is my friend Karen says, your keep calm and carry on hormone. So if you're not have enough, you're going to be stressed and overwhelmed. So something to keep in mind. Also, elevated estrogen causes a lot of women who are peri, post, or menopausal to wake up early in the morning when they're not wanting to, like get short sleep or suffer from insomnia because estrogen is too high. Okay, so stress and elevated cortisol triggers the depletion of progesterone, like I said, leading to estrogen dominance and adrenal fatigue, which triggers fat deposition, chronic fatigue, muscle and joint pain, and headaches. The benefits of having a whole open mind is you'll feel free and at peace. And honestly, if you treat your body well, it will treat you well, right? So what I was learning years ago is that stress is the cause of 98% of all disease. Can you believe it? 98%, that's a lot. So if you look at the foundation and the core of disease, stress will be there, okay? We're designed for fight or flight, or to run from the tiger or chase the animal to get food, or fight it, right? So, but we don't have that happening now. But a lot of times we still get that cortisol rush, that fight or flight going, and we just need to know how to utilize it to move our bodies when we're feeling that way instead of sitting still. Also, gut health is affected by stress. Many diseases of gut inflammation are caused by stress and with no outlet, or leading to gut and abdominal pain, gas and bloating, inflammation, trouble eating and digesting food, including constipation and diarrhea. Of course, it depletes your immune system, lower your levels of serotonin, oxytocin, that reward center of your brain, which those serotonin and oxytocin are produced in your gut. There's that brain-gut connection. If those reward centers of your brain are depleted, you're most likely going to start to feel depressed and sad. So it's important to have those at healthy levels. Also, you have brain fog, trouble with recall, and accelerating the aging process overall. So stress really does it to us. We don't think about it, but we're always running and never realizing, but it's always important to take a step back, look at what your beliefs are about certain things, if something is really worth stressing out about, and then making adjustments from there. Most people don't acknowledge this particular area of being open-minded because they don't know where to start or know what to do. Most people don't really even know this is a thing. It's a factor. So you want to look at your symptoms and start with daily prayer and meditation, maybe go for a walk or some strenuous exercise to get your heart pumping, and using cortisol as needed. So when you feel like your heart's racing, we talk about this in our group, kind of like on the spot cortisol reduction, where you can do, some body weight squats, some push-ups, even just go for a walk to bring those cortisol levels down that are elevated with stress. Okay, let's talk about Lindsay. So Lindsay, she is awesome. She's in our group too. I met her. Her son plays baseball with my son. So we were talking at a baseball game one day, and I had met with her before about different things. And at the time, she was telling me that she was struggling with abdominal pain, lots of fatigue. So she ended up joining my course, Ageless Body Blueprint. And literally within a few weeks, her gut pain was gone. Her fatigue was way down. She could handle stress much better and had even lost a few pounds in the process. I was so happy for her. She was in so much pain and just so much distress, and that she had relief was such a blessing to me and to her. Okay, step 3, begin and learn and apply fasting techniques and managing healthy feasting principles. We talk about intermittent fasting. People hear about it all the time, right? So intermittent fasting is basically allowing your body to burn body fat as a primary fuel source instead of using carbohydrates. So you can either be what they call a fat burner, or you can be a sugar burner or carbohydrate burner, right? So if we're eating constantly or throughout the day, maybe 3 to 5 meals a day, like I used to teach, then you're going to be a carbohydrate burner because you're constantly getting food in. If you are fasting, refraining from calories or from food for a prolonged period of time, you'll become a fat burner because your body, once food is not available, it'll switch gears, kind of like switching gas tanks, really. If one's out, the other one will kick into gear. So the fat burner is when your body metabolism goes into stored body fat for energy, breaks it down into ketones, washes your body with ketones, your brain clarity is up, your hunger is gone, you're feeling really good. Plus there's a ton of other benefits to fasting I'll share with you. Then you will start losing body fat. So again, your body doesn't discern between body fat for fuel or dietary fat for fuel. So you're using it all the same. So releasing body fat is about the hormone insulin, not about calories. If you're eating a lot of carbohydrates on a regular basis, your insulin levels are going to elevate because that's what it does. It helps to metabolize carbohydrates. And that constant up and down of insulin actually triggers your body to store body fat. It's important to know that if you eat a diet that's lower in carbohydrates, higher in protein and fat, that you're not going to affect your insulin as much, and your body will go more readily to stored body fat for fuel than to stored sugar. However, what you need to do first is you have to fast long enough, which isn't really that long, maybe 16, 17 hours or less even, to start going to the stored carbohydrates in your liver. So when you eat, your body stores carbohydrates in your liver for future energy or in your muscles for energy. So if you are fasting and there's no food coming in, then your body will go into your liver for energy, keep your blood sugar up, keep you feeling good. And then once that's out, then it'll go to body fat for fuel. And for me, at this point, I've been fasting for about a year. I can now tell when my body's switching gas tanks, which is kind of funny. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of hungry, but now it's gone. That's interesting. Once the hunger is gone, that means your body is going to body fat for fuel. Okay, and it sounds crazy to fast, but it's amazing. I'll show you that. Actually, I'll show you that right now. All right, let's move to this slide. Okay, fasting benefits. So there's different fasting timeline by Dr. Mindy Pelz that I love using. She's great. 13 to 15 hours of fasting, you get human growth hormone increased. You get reduced inflammation, fat burning begins, increased ketones, and improved energy and focus. When you go a little bit longer to 17 hours, you get autophagy, which helps to heal your body, improves your immune function, cancer prevention. 24 hours, a little bit longer, you get a gut reset fast where you start to regenerate intestinal cells. You get GABA, or that GABA production actually helps to stabilize your mood. You get brain healing and autoimmune healing. And then here we go longer, 36 hours. This is the fat burner fast. You have reduced glucose stores, you have reduced carbohydrate stores in your liver, reduced insulin, increased fat burning, and then detoxification, anti-aging. Even longer, for a lot of you who are new to this, sounds crazy, but 48 hours. I teach you how to condition up to this. It's not like all of a sudden I'm having you do long fasting. We start with like 12 to 13 hours, which is finishing eating dinner at 7, then eating again at 8 a.m., which we use our sleep to fast. 48 hours, the dopamine reset, resets your dopamine receptors, reduced anxiety and depression, anti-aging, and HGH, human growth hormone. Human growth hormone is what's responsible for our muscle growth and development. And our growth and development. So as we age after 35, human growth hormone levels start to go down. But with fasting, it helps to preserve those levels or bring them back up so we can have more muscle and growth. And then 72 hours, an immunity fast. This is when you peak autophagy, peak your body's healing system. You peak your immune system, immune stem cells, peak your musculoskeletal stem cells, any chronic conditions that are going on, but increased and accelerated healing. So this are all the benefits of fasting and also how it helps to contribute to anti-aging. So this is one of the things that we do. And I'll teach you how to do that along. Don't be afraid of it. I walk with you where you're at and I just start you easy. And once you start seeing and feeling all the benefits of this, you're going to be astounded. So let me share with you about Carrie. So Carrie was doing this also in the summer with us. So Carrie took the slow road, which is what we're doing. And despite not seeing it on the scale daily, her body started to change. She had joint and knee pain that left. She shared her weight graph with me, like you can see here, and saw a drastic change in a few months. So she said, this is probably like a month in. I hit my lowest weight in a year this morning. Before that, it was the lowest in 5 years. I know weight isn't the most important number, but I've tracked it off and on MyFitnessPal since 2013. So I have a weight graph. It's awesome to see the downward trend. So this is her 2013, and then now she started with us seeing this and it continues. So I'm really excited for her. Okay, so that's how fasting works. Most people don't do it because they're scared of it, but I'm here to teach you how to do it healthfully in a way that'll really work for you in anti-aging and body fat loss. So the other thing we do is we do workouts together. I have a workout routine or a calendar that I share. And it's really important to get those workouts in to stay fit and strong and healthy. And that way you can have more energy for your grandkids, for travel, for leisure, for your own kids. As you age, it helps you become more youthful, makes you feel more attractive and sexy in your body because you feel stronger. And then your clothes fit well and your shape is lovely. So it just adds to all of it. Most people don't do it because maybe they just don't like to exercise, or the reason why they're doing it isn't strong enough and they don't know what to do. Or maybe they're just satisfied with the status quo and like, I'm gaining weight. It is what it is. I'd just rather not exercise. Or maybe just have a negative belief about exercise. Maybe that's the thing that's really holding them back. So, all right, Annette, here's part of Annette's testimony. So she was telling me that she was working out, but was kind of doing it here and there before starting in my course. but then with the calendar, ramped it up a bit because her goal was to be fit and trim. So she told me I felt so good after I got off the sugar roller coaster, that I wanted to see if I could feel even more amazing. So I signed up for the 8-week Ageless Body Blueprint. Her goal was to tighten and tone to her college self, reduce inflammation from the inside out, create a quick, sustainable health habit routine that she didn't have to think about, just do it. And then after 8 weeks of the Ageless program, I'm on my way to achieving all of the above and more. I can honestly say I love the way I feel right now, energized and happy. That's awesome. Okay, so number 5, step 5, this is the last step. Learn how to incorporate an advanced fasting lifestyle into your life. It's an 8-week course. Week 1, we start out with maybe a 12 to 14-hour fast. After that, we can increase our time as we go and then kind of experiment and play with longer fasts. It's amazing. It's just, I always compare it to exercise. If you're training for a 5K but have never run, but you really want to do this, I'm not going to tell you go run 3 miles. I'm going to say go for a walk around the block, right? So we do the same thing with fasting. You gradually increase it, your body gets conditioned, and no, your metabolism won't slow down, which is most people ask me, well, if I don't eat, I'm going to get too hungry and my metabolism will slow down. I share lots of tips and tricks on how to get over those things. Many times when we feel low energy when we're not eating is because we're dehydrated. So it's important to get in some salt and water, and you'll notice you perk right up. So it's doable. Our body is designed for this. So I don't want you to be afraid of it. Just embrace it, because it's the way God had designed our bodies. We weren't designed to carry around extra body fat. So learning how to do advanced fasting. This program isn't intermittent fasting per se. We do incorporate that, but we incorporate a fasting lifestyle. And I also give you a schedule of what fast to do each day and increase it as you go. We're going to be working with our bodies, how they were designed, not working against them. So you don't have to worry about it. Sometimes, like when you're doing your hair and feel like you're having a bad hair day. And I realize it's because we're working against the grain. Like if your hair's going a direction, you're trying to make it go this way. It's really hard to make it go the way you want it. So I realized, you know what? I think I just need this a life lesson to go with the grain instead of against it, right? So kind of make the most of it. So work with your body, not against it. Everyone is doing intermittent fasting, but I feel they really don't understand it. And maybe they've been doing it for a while and they're like, oh, it doesn't work for me. And it's because you haven't really learned or been fully educated in understanding how it works and how I can help you and other people in the group can help you make it work for you, and you can get all the advantages from it. We have a testimony, another one. Let's see, from Cheryl. Cheryl's back. So this is a longer one, but I'll just kind of give you a synopsis. So she started day 1 of the 21-day sugar detox this is her timeline, November 6th last year. She weighed 198.1. She was down 15 pounds and had broken her addiction from sugar and felt amazing. She said, I'm no stranger to dieting, but this couldn't be further from the truth, from diets of the past. These 2 programs have been monumental in helping me embrace the miraculous body that God has given me, and I'm learning to honor it as I am meant to. I will continue to move forward toward my weight loss goal, but more importantly, toward keeping in balance in my life. Love it. Yay. Thanks, Cheryl. That's awesome. So I know a lot of you are here either to relearn what we've been talking about, or you want to learn more about longevity and living this amazing, exquisite quality of life without giving up food, and you want a simple solution to finally overcome accelerating body fat gain while reversing the aging process. Who doesn't want that, right? You might feel yuck and stuck, right? That happens a lot, and ready to make change. You're the type of person who demands more for herself, right? You're here because you want more for you and you know your body's capable of more. You want to learn how to do it, how to live in line with your own expectations, and refuse to live the way that you are now because it doesn't feel right. Nothing I have shared with you today is theory. Well, I guess it's theory in a way, right? Nothing's fact except for God's truth. But these are all things that are working because my clients are showing in all these testimonials that what we're doing is working. I've done my work to help women achieve this. And I've done all the research. You don't have to do any more research. I know a lot of times we'll have an issue and we'll go online and search, oh, how do I lose body fat after 40? How do I reduce aging? Things like that. I've done it all for you. You don't have to. I love researching. So let me do it for you. Let me share it with you. All you have to do is, I call it color by number. Take what I have, I'll tell you the steps, and then just implement it, right? And do your best not to get sidetracked with another program. I've searched them all and I've done the metabolic research, and this is what works. There's 4 other doctors that I follow regularly and learn information from them as well, who are specialists in body fat loss. I've done this too. I'm also my own testimony of how this has worked. I've kept body fat off over 40. I lost the body fat that I had gained, continue to keep it off. I'm content with a fasting lifestyle. I feel better with a fasting lifestyle. My energy's better. And I know that if I can do it and all the ladies in my group can do it, there's no reason why you can't do it too. And if it's challenging, no worries. I'm in the group. You can come and ask me questions. I love being available. I'm never bothered by people who have questions for me. I'm always wanting to help. So you have me to help you navigate as well. At this point, you're going to finish up. You have two options. You can continue doing what you've been doing all along, or you can take the fast track to your results with my Ageless Body Blueprint framework that I just shared with you, all the 5 things we do together, right? Okay, let me share my slides with you. So what you will achieve in the Ageless Body Blueprint, you'll end up with enhanced brain clarity, balance your hormones and blood sugar, release excess toxic body fat, restored gut health, reduced cholesterol, increased muscle and mobility, enhanced immune system, anti-inflammation, decreased joint pain, and possible improvements in vision, which I saw in our test group. We had a lady whose vision improved. So we have our friend Dana. She texts this with me, shared this with me. As a post-menopausal woman, your midsection gets big, bloated, and it's hard to lose weight from that area. So the intermittent fasting, keto way of eating has helped that part of my life, and I never thought would happen. I'm 58 years old, and I have never thought I would have a waist again or stomach that was what I call not big. So that was awesome for Dana. Okay, so let's look at inside the Ageless Body Blueprint. So if you decide to join us in this course, you can join now and get a little discount, $100 off. But what you will get is 8 video lessons on each of the steps I shared, plus more. Weekly like Q&A calls with me and our tribe of women with updates and support. Monthly guest speakers. We have specialists in the area of aging and women's health and longevity come on. Amazing resource. We have group support, accountability, and lifetime access to says court materials and updates, but to all of our materials and also updates. You get a fasting calendar for those. We have a perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause fasting calendar. You have to fast according to your cycle, and I teach you all about that in the group. Your workout plan and calendar and recommended workout resources, estrogen and progesterone building foods lists. So to get those levels up, I give you some food lists that'll help to bring those levels up. And then a grocery list, which comes with all of this cool stuff. During the 8 weeks, you will learn how to challenge your beliefs, mindset and meditation exercise, stress management tips and skills, detailed education on fasting and the science behind it. We go into detail on that one. The science behind autophagy and fitness with fasting. So autophagy is self-healing of your body. And then fitness with fasting is actually better for you because you end up increasing your human growth hormone, which helps you to sustain more muscle as you age. Mindful, intuitive, emotional eating. We talk about how to eat to balance hormones, gain brain clarity, restore gut health, reduce joint pain, and reverse aging. And there's so much more because I'm always adding to it. So this is just the beginning. So Annette, I'm going to bring you on with me. So she's going to be our live testimony for today. So let me see if I can unmute you. You've been with us through the test group. You came through the sugar detox. And then one thing that I really wanted to highlight today was something that we shared together a few weeks ago in our Q&A session. And I was asking everybody, do you feel like this is a weight loss or a diet program? Because I don't want it to feel that way. I want this to be a lifestyle, right? How's it different from dieting compared to what we actually are doing in this group? What's your experience been?
Well, for me, I thought this is much more as a lifestyle than a diet because I wanted to add in healthy habits for me. And that's what it's done for me.
That's awesome. So the difference between it being a diet, something being a diet and something being a lifestyle, what do you think what's the distinguishing factor? What would you say is how would you know the difference for you?
A lifestyle to me is about having a plan, but you can deviate from the plan if you want to. It's not so strict.
Okay. So I know one thing we talked about too was about kind of how you feel. I know dieting might feel like we're not really at peace, but we're kind of stressed out all the time about stuff. How do you feel differently living out this lifestyle compared to that kind of mindset?
It's been very easy for me. It's easy because I've just been adding things one by one and not having to do it be overwhelmed. And I could do it. I could just add them as I could fit them in. And I didn't even have to do it 100%
Right.
because even as much as I did for it, it helped me as, it kept building these good habits.
Mhm.
And that's why I think it's more like a lifestyle.
Okay, awesome. So you didn't feel like stressed about it or anxious or having to like count or do things all the time or weigh yourself or whatever. It just felt more like a natural thing.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it actually built over time. I've been
Mhm.
a little over a year with this whole program,
Mhm.
and I did not join it to lose a lot of weight, but I'm down 15 pounds from consistently this
Awesome.
for the year, and I am at my college weight. And
Yay.
yeah, and adding in exercise. I lifted weights in college and I'm toning up. I've
That's
lost
awesome.
3 inches from my belly button
Woohoo.
waist measurement. And I'm
Wow,
like,
that's huge. Okay, so actually, how old are you now? You mean share with everybody how old you are?
I'm 57.
Okay, so being over 40 doesn't really matter. You can still do the things and know how to do it according to your age, and you still obviously are getting a result and feeling strong. Yeah.
I'm amazed. I just thought I had to gain 5 pounds every decade. And I'm like, I guess not. You don't have to.
Right. I know people say that. I hear that all the time. Oh, I just gain 5 pounds every 10 years. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's so true. But yeah, that doesn't have to be the case, right? When your hormones are balanced, when you're fasting, when your blood sugar is balanced, your liver is clear, you have more energy to exercise. It just kind of all like again, that wellness onion just all kind of comes together and you start to see like how each layer works to your advantage. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Congratulations. I didn't know about the 3 inches around your waist. Very cool. That's a big change. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. All right. Let's finish up here. Okay. So the very last thing is you probably all want to know, like, how do I do this program with these ladies? And how much does it cost? Right. Okay. Right now, just so you all know, I'm looking for 10 women right now. So I have my ideal is to have 12 women in the group each new round. And 12 is kind of like one of those numbers I feel like God gave me. 12, like 12 disciples. I'm sure there's others. I'm big into numbers. I love the significance of numbers, but I have 2 already who registered. And so I'm looking for 10 more in this intimate third round. And if you want to join, there's also an offer of $100 off discount plus a lifetime of weekly group sessions. Okay, just so you all know, I'm telling everybody, even the people who are in the group now, the Facebook group community is included in the price of the course. But starting the 4th round, it's going to be a fee for the group. You'll get all the access to the course material, but there's a fee for the group. You'll get it included for the first 8 weeks. This is not now, but the next round. You'll get the group included for the first 8 weeks of the course. Then after that, if you want to continue with us, which I encourage you all to do, it's going to be $25 per month to be part of the group. But right now, you don't have to worry about that. I'm just letting you know. Right now, it's still going to be included in the cost. So if you join now in the 4th round, you'll still get access to us for life, to the group for life. And then always have access to me personally if you have questions about your diet or meal plan. And usually I check in with you guys as well. When you join the group, I'm going to do a formal announcement, an introduction of you in the group with your photo and information about you. It's an online video course. It's all set up in a separate platform on a website. You can watch it on your own time. You can watch each video one at a time once a week, or you can binge them. It's up to you. Each of them are about an hour long. I have some of them broken up into 2 half-hours, so it's easier to consume. And or you can watch it on your own, or we will start up together on February 5th. And in our private group, I'll be posting the video for the week. We'll watch it. You can watch it on your own time and then discuss it in our group session for the week. And if you are ready, just let me know and then I'll get back to you. We can do, if you want to do a 30-minute complimentary nutrition evaluation with me to see if it's right for you, I'm happy to do that. If you put in the comments, I'm ready, I can reach out to you and we can do that. Or you can just register with the coupon link I gave you in the chat box just now. Yeah, so I'm excited for you to join us. Have a fantastic day. Let me know if you need anything and feel free to message me on Messenger on Facebook and I will get back to you with all the details. Okay, bye everybody. Thank you.